Magandang gabi sa lahat. My name is Michael Mislos, the editor-in-chief of bitpinas.com, and welcome to the Bitpinas webcast. So established in 2017, Bitpinas is a crypto news website covering crypto, blockchain, and Web3 here in the Philippines, and we are the longest-running crypto publication here in the Philippines. So tonight, we have a very interesting topic about crypto and AML. So ano nga ba ang tinatawag na anti-money laundering? At bakit apektado tayo mga crypto investors. Yan. So we are joined today by Nichel Gaba, entrepreneur, former investment banker, and CEO of licensed crypto exchange PDAX. So welcome Nichel sa show natin.
Thank you so much. Very, very happy to be part of the show. Magandang gabi to everyone.
So thank you Nichel, and bago natin simulan yung mga katanungan is meron tayo mo ng icebreaker. So parang may papakita kami mga muka kay Nichel at makikita nyo rin sa screen at magbibigay siya ng parang mga thoughts niya dito. Ayan. So unahin na natin. Ang unang muka ay si Weizu, ang CEO ng coins.ph. So Nichel, anong masasabi mo kay Wei, and siguro ma-mention ko na rin na sa dati naming webcast nung May is parang minention ni Weizu na parang it doesn't jive daw ang NFT marketplace with a centralized exchange which PDAX has kasi si PDAX may Mint2 and centralized exchange.
So actually si Wei, no, I first met him siguro 2018 pa yata yan or 2019 eh. I went to a conference sa Singapore, crypto conference. Tapos si Wei at the time, CFO pa siya ng Binance. So parang lahat kaming mga smaller exchanges, obviously nakikinig sa kanya. And I always thought na yung pagkakaintindi niya sa market is really super sharp. Parang nakikita talaga niya like where the market's headed. And I think it was it was very flattering na he saw the opportunities of Philippines and he performed a buyout of coins. I think yung with regards to yung NFT marketplace, obviously we have Mint2. We launched Mint2 a couple of months ago, and I guess ang view kasi namin is that if ang paggagamitan lang ng NFT is like a profile picture, parang Bored Ape, etc. Yeah, I can understand why you don't need a centralized exchange to do that. Right? You can always go to andyan naman yung OpenSea, andyan naman yung Magic Eden. But what we want to achieve kasi with Mint2 is yung use case or utility-based na NFTs. Na parang hindi lang siya NFT, pwede mo gamitin as tickets, pwede mo gamitin as rewards. And for that kind of NFT, no, I think hindi mo may iwasan na you need a centralized platform kasi lahat ng rights and exchanges can take place in Web3, pero lahat ng utility happens either in Web2 or in the real world. So you'll always need that parang gateway, right? So that's why we have Mint2. But I also see where Wei is coming from dun sa, if in a fully decentralized world.
All right, thank you Nichel. And then ang next naman natin na picture is may nakita kaming picture somewhere na kasama mo si CZ na CEO of Binance. So ano bang nangyari sa picture na ito, and what do you think of CZ?
Okay, so this was taken in Palawan, I think mga 3 or 4 months ago. Actually, I just heard na CZ might be there, no, but I didn't know na he was gonna be there for sure. Nagulat na lang ako nung pagdating ko sa beach, may naka-fisherman's hat and then naka-shades. Pero yung korte ng mukha, you can't mistake it. No? That's easy. So it was very fun because I think nakasama ko siya for like 5 days, eating, drinking, playing games. And I got to know him quite well, no? And he's definitely very smart, very sharp. Parang, some people think, some people think big, like big picture. There's big picture and there's CZ big picture. Yung talagang He really thinks at an industry level. And I think ano rin, na-notice ko rin na he's also uh, very competitive, no? So if you watch The Last Dance, siguro parang ganun si Z Mag-isip because I think we were playing anong game ba yun? Werewolf. Alam mo yung werewolf, yung huhulaan mo sino
Hmm.
yung killer dun sa group. He was so competitive there. So I guess that's it takes a very committed and competent guy to build something like Binance.
Ayun. Thank you, Nichel. Mukhang may nalaman tayong bago dito. So, yan. So, yun po yung ating icebreaker. And now we go to the main proper of our show. I guess, well, simulan muna natin with who is Nichel Gaba. And I know that you've worked with HSBC,
Mhm.
with Macquarie, and then to PDAX. So, I guess a brief introduction
Mhm.
about yourself and what got you into crypto.
Sure. So actually nakakatawa nga because when people see the name Nichel Gaba, ina-assume nila either foreigner because medyo weird yung name. But obviously, I grew up here, no? Chinoy ako. So I studied here and I actually also worked here right after college. Nag-work ako sa HSBC. So banking talaga yung naging career ko. In 2014, I left HSBC. No? So at the time sa HSBC, I was heading the trust department. So yung mga sa mga nakakaalam, obviously mga UITF, investment funds, etc. sa trust
Mhm.
department siya. In 2014, I left and I went to the US to study. And noong mga time na yun, that's when crypto started becoming popular. Sa mga nakakaalala, nung 2017, that was the first time na Bitcoin hit its all-time highs, right? It went up to about 20,000 before falling back. But nung mga time na yun, I thought na there was no way that crypto trading will stop, no? Even if all the governments around the world try to curtail crypto, crypto will always be traded. And because crypto will always be traded, people will always need trusted venues to trade crypto. At that time, the biggest stories were around Mount Gox, etc. And every time na I talk about crypto, sabi ng mga tao, hindi ba scam yan? So I really felt na we needed a trusted venue for it. And I thought na this is the best place to build an exchange kasi not only do we have a large OFW remittance corridor, pero marami rin tayong inefficiencies here,
Mhm.
no, na kayang isolve ng crypto or blockchain technology.
I see. And doon naman sa from your banking
Mm.
days, no, we just also want to know ano bang skills or insights from your banking career that
Mhm.
proved actually very beneficial when you
Mhm.
started a crypto company.
Sure. Siguro yung first is really understanding how regulations work. Um, when you don't work in a bank, no, or sometimes even if you work in a bank, it's not easy to understand bakit ito bawal, bakit ito pwede. So when we started PDAX, in fact, a lot of our early employees, even now, our management team come from banks. I think we have a combined 150 years worth of experience in HSBC,
Mhm.
Citibank, BDO, Metro, ganyan. Because when you're running a financial service institution, um, there are practices that are pretty common sense or second nature um, with regards to controls, segregation of assets, etc. They come second nature to banking professionals. And I thought na it would be wise no, to bring a lot of that practices into PDAX.
I see. And yeah, thank you so much, no. And if may follow up ako dyan later, but
Mm-mm.
first muna question to our audience. When did you start uh, in your crypto journey? No, kailan kayo nagsimula mag-crypto? And ang question ko naman kay Nichelle, obviously sinabi mo yun kanina, 2014, no? Um, at that time, 2018 was when I actually Bitpinas first knew about PDAX. And at that time, meron ng mga exchanges, may mga license exchange na if I remember correctly. So, why did you build si PDAX when you know na parang meron ng mga exchanges na license din at that time? And meron din mga international exchanges din.
Right, so ka-clarify ko lang na I didn't buy crypto in 2014. I
Okay.
wish I did. Diba? I wish I did, pero hindi. I probably bought my first crypto, a couple of years later. But that's a fair point. Parang there's so many crypto platforms out there. Why build one? And why build one local and regulated? Because I thought, I still believe this. If you look at yung size ng crypto market, which is roughly mga $1 trillion, diba, yung market cap, it's still so small.
Okay.
Parang it's just half of a bank like Citibank. Maliit pa. And the reason why it's so small is because wala pa yung institutions, right? Everyone who's in crypto right now are either retail individuals or high net worth individuals. And the reason why wala pa yung institutions is because yung regulatory framework around crypto is still unclear, right? Will it always be unclear? I don't think so. As with most things naman in life, this takes time. So I think we're headed in the right direction. Pero I started PDAX because I always knew na when institutions finally enter crypto, they will need an institution grade, no, or like a very well run compliant institution. And also tayo, I guess we're all crypto natives, no. Karamihan sa listeners probably are not new to crypto. Pero for those who are new to crypto, I don't know if you remember the experience, pero nakakatakot siya, right? Because you don't know where you should transact, you don't know if it's safe. So there really is a need for a local and regulated na exchange.
I see. And when you mentioned na parang mga institutions, at this point in time, like 2023, and alam natin mayroong tinatawag na Bitcoin halving by next year,
right?
May institutions na ba in the Philippines?
Right now, sa PDAX, yung answer dyan is yes, right? We have clients that are managing portfolios for high net worth individuals. We have a client na BSP supervised na institution. We also have clients that are remittance companies. So, bakit remittance company? Kasi instead of tatanggap sila ng dollar, which will take a few days, they receive crypto and we convert that to peso for them. So, meron ng institutional adoption, and I think it's just bound to grow, no, from here.
Okay. Before yung trivia, I just want to know if it is okay. You mentioned yung sa remittance, like ano kayang crypto yung ginagamit nila on that time? Is it any crypto or kung ano?
Yeah, so I think it's very easy to figure out na a lot of the flows into the Philippines are XRP flows. No?
I see.
Pero ang favorite ng remittance companies, either XRP because mabilis, and si Ripple kasi has built systems to make it seamless, right? Either XRP or stable coins kasi obviously pag stable coin, they don't have to worry about the price fluctuation against the fiat dollar and peso.
I see. Thank you, Nichel. And that wraps up our first part of our show or our webcast right now. And now it's time for the trivia with Lance. So,
hello guys. Hello once again. So this is Michael Lance. No, have you listened to our live stream interview with Mr. Nichel Gaba, the CEO of PDAX? Ayan. So we have some good news for you guys. We will be giving away 1,000 peso worth of cryptocurrency and a legendary digital collectible from PDAX. So what we will be doing is to like our Facebook fan page at Bitpinas and share our live stream on your profile publicly. Ayan. So we will be asking some questions and type in the correct answer, the letter of the correct answer in the comment section of this live stream to win our prize. Are you ready, guys? Are you ready? Yeah. No. Okay, so let's start, no? Let's start with the first question. Are you ready? Okay. So, question number 1. What year was PDAX founded? Okay, so what year was PDAX founded? Letter A, 2010. Letter B, 2015. Letter C, 2018. And letter D, 2020. So once again, the question is, what year was PDAX founded? Letter A, 2010. Letter B, 2015. Letter C, 2018. And letter D, 2020. So don't forget to type in the letter of the correct answer in the comment section of our Facebook live stream. Don't forget to like our Facebook fan page at Bitpinas and share our live stream publicly on your profile. Ayan. So, sinong nakahula ng tamang sagot? So, the correct answer is letter C, 2018, guys. So, PDAX was founded last 2018. And the winner is Alice para Yaonan. Okay, so congratulations, ha? Congratulations, Alice. Okay, so hindi pa dyan nagtatapos, no? We have our second question. Ayan, are you ready, guys, for the second question, no? So once again, you will win 1,000 peso worth of cryptocurrency and a legendary digital collectible. Okay, so guys, are you ready for our next question? Okay, good. Now, what does PDAX stand for? Once again, what does PDAX stand for? Letter A, Philippine Domestic Asset Exchange. Letter B, Philippine Digital Asset Exchange. Letter C, Philippine DeFi Asset Exchange. Or letter D, Polygon, Dodge, AVAX, Ethereum. Yan. So once again, our question is, what does PDAX stand for? Letter A, Philippine Domestic Asset Exchange. Letter B, Philippine Digital Asset Exchange. Letter C, Philippine DeFi Asset Exchange. Or letter D, Polygon, Dodge, AVAX, Ethereum. So don't forget to type in the correct answer in the comment section of our Facebook live stream. And don't forget to share our live stream and like our Facebook fan page at bitpinas.com. Okay. So we have a winner once again. Okay, so the correct answer for the second question is letter B, Philippine Digital Asset Exchange. And our winner is Nato Tosre San. Yeah. Congratulations! Okay, back to you, Mike.
Thank you so much, Lance, for that. And dito tayo sa parang pinaka-meat ng ating usapan ngayong gabi. Kasi itong mga nakakaang buwan actually sa Bitpinas is marami kaming natatanggap ng mga balita or reports from our audience, from our readers na nakaka-experience ng kanilang mga bank accounts na nako-close dahil daw nagcrypto sila. So yun yung pinaka issued, no? And ito in the last few months, and most of the time ang violation is about AML, Anti-Money Laundering. So andito si Nichel to tell us more about this. So siguro unahin muna natin, Nichel, no? Ano ba yung money laundering?
Right. Sige. So, napakahabang kwento nito. And actually, I really appreciate na pinag-uusapan natin siya, no? Because I think this is a topic na not only is hard to understand, no? But also, a lot of yung mga bank managers, RMs, mga bank officers, hindi rin nila na-explain ng maayos eh, right? But before I explain siguro what money laundering is, I just want to be very clear. Uh, Holding, buying, selling crypto is not illegal. Okay? So trading crypto is not money laundering. Ano ba yung money laundering? Okay? Simply put, money laundering is when a criminal, okay, tries to use yung banking system para ipasok yung proceeds ng criminal activity niya. So anong magandang example niya? Let's say nang hold up ka ng bangko. Okay? Dala ka ng bag puro cash, may mga dugo-dugo pa, and then i-deposit mo sa bangko mo. Okay? That's money laundering. Okay? Now, you always hear AMLA, AMLA. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng AMLA? AMLA stands for the Anti-Money Laundering Act. Okay? Batas siya na pinatupad noong 2001. And what it did was it made all supervised institutions responsible for preventing money laundering. Meaning, kung dati, okay lang na i-deposit mo yung 10,000 pesos mo sa bangko, no questions asked. Now, hindi na pwede. Now, the bank can take the 10,000, pero kailangan alam din ng bank saan nanggaling yung 10,000. So, yun yung tinatawag na KYC. Okay. So, fast forward tayo ng konti. Okay? Ano pa ba yung mga ibang nire-require ng AMLA? Okay? So, si AMLA, part nung batas, formed the AMLC, okay? Which is the Anti-Money Laundering Council. Right now, ang naririnig lang natin, BSP registered, SEC registered, etc. But if you're a BSP registered institution, like a bank or EMI, or you're an SEC registered institution, like a stockbroker, all of you need to be AMLC registered, meaning you all of these institutions may obligations yan to the AMLC. Okay. So tanong, ano naman yung papel ni AMLC? What do they do? Well, yung AMLC, sila yung nag-i-investigate ng money laundering and sila yung nag-uutos sa banks to freeze certain accounts or to close certain accounts, or in some cases sila rin yung nagfa-file ng money laundering charges against individuals. Okay, how do they do that? Well, they do that by requiring banks to submit reports. Ano yung mga report na sinasubmit ng mga bangko to the AMLC? Well, yung number one is any transaction above 500,000 pesos, nire-report yan sa AMLC. Okay. So ngayon, yung mga whales natin, natakot, hala, nire-report na yung don't be alarmed, no? Because most of the time, wala naman nangyayari with the reports, especially if it's nothing illegal. Okay? The reason why yung AMLC needs these reports, no, from institutions is because they also do their own investigation. Okay? Example, naalala niyo yung Bangladesh incident. Okay? So, pag may nangyaring ganong heist, the AMLC can trace the funds kasi nire-report lahat ng transaction above 500,000, di ba? So, kaya nilang i-analyze. Okay, pumunta siya sa bank A and then lumipat sa bank B, lumipat sa bank C. Okay, tawagan natin si bank C. I-freeze yung account na yun. Okay? That's why sinasabit yung reports. Now, punta na tayo sa question of crypto. Why is it that sinasara ni bank yung bank account ko? Wala naman akong ginagawang illegal. It's because when banks perform KYC, nag-create siya ng picture of who Michael Mislos, for example. Michael Mislos is. Okay? I'll give you a personal example. When yung first bank account ko, when I started working as a teacher, okay, so right out of college, nagturo ko ng finance. So yung sweldo ko noon was 18,000 pesos. Okay? So nung nag-open ako ng bank account, yun yung nilagay kong activity ko, 18,000 pesos. So yung bank, ano yung expectation ng bank? Ang expectation ng bank is every month, sasahod ako ng 18,000 and then meron ako mga expenses, nagbabayad ako ng credit card, and then that's it. If nakakita sila one day, may pumasok doon na 1 million, 10 million, that's suspicious, di ba? Teka muna, akala ko ba teacher ka lang? Bakit ang dami mong kinikita? Okay? So, when that happens, the banks have to do further KYC. Ba? Tatawagan ka niya, okay, Mr. Mislos or Mr. Gaba, bakit may pumasok na ganong kalaking halaga? Then i-explain, no, okay, nag-invest po kasi ako or tumama ako sa loto, etc. All of those things are fine. Okay? The problem is, or which is usually the case, no? The problem is, banks aren't always able to do further KYC. Sometimes it's cheaper for them to just, sara na lang natin. Kasi I can't call you up. I don't have the manpower to do that. So, sasara ko lang yung account mo. Sadly, that happens all the time, no?
And madalas wala itong explanation ng
Walang
pagkakaintindi ko.
explanation. Exactly. Pag tinanong mo sa bangko, bakit pinasara? Kasi sabi ng compliance. Kasi nagcrypto daw po kayo. Hindi pwede yun eh. That's actually wrong, no? There's nothing wrong with trading cryptocurrencies. Okay? Pag nag-deviate yung activity mo with your bank account against your profile with a bank, that raises suspicion. Okay? That's the first reason.
Thanks, Nichel, no? So, i-clarify ko lang. So, you mentioned na parang 18,000 yung kinikita, and then may biglang pumasok na 1,500,000. Does it have to be na ganun amount siya? What if, parang 50,000, 100,000? Will it still raise suspicion pag ganun?
So, it depends sa bangko.
Okay.
No? Okay? Some banks have automated risk filters. Meaning, wala nang manually tumitingin yan. They just have a program that automatically raises an alert. No? Some banks naman don't check in real time. Na they only do quarterly na nire-review nila. Okay, this quarter, may mga suspicious activity dito. And then they'll ask more questions. Okay, so iba-iba rin siya per bank. Now, some banks, if the bank values your relationship, they will really do further or enhanced KYC. If maliit lang yung account mo, hindi mo naman talaga sila ginagamit, then they probably will decide to close.
Thanks, Nichel, no? And na-mention mo na kung bakit may AMLA, bakit may sa money laundering, and bakit may ganong ginagawa ang government, bakit may sariling institution yung anti-money laundering to report or record all of that,
Right.
no? So ngayon, punta naman tayo sa part sa crypto. So madalas natin tong nababasa na parang bakit ba dama yung crypto sa AML na yan kung hindi naman to fiat money, sabihin, di ba? Hindi naman to legal tender. So bakit kasama pa rin yung crypto sa AML na tinatawag?
So, I think it's important din to understand ano yung tinatry i-achieve ni AMLA, no? Ang tinatry i-achieve ni AMLA is lahat ng conduits of value, no? Whether it's money or it's stocks or bonds, lahat ng channels for value, they should all be part of the AML framework. Okay? Kasi if meron diyang bangko na pasaway, yung bangko na yun, lalapitan ng mga sindikato, dyan sila magbabangko, and then crime will proliferate. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, so lahat kailangan part ng AMLC na umbrella, if you will. Okay? The problem with crypto is that not all the players are part of that umbrella. Okay? So ito yung reason number 2 for most of the account closures. If nag-transact ka on an unregistered VASP or marketplace, that's a risk flag right away. Kasi may memo din before si BSP to all the institutions that that prohibit the dealing, no, with unregistered VASPs. So if a bank deals with, let's say, a customer who trades in an unregistered platform, pwede siya maging medium for money laundering. Not because the customer is, committing any crime, but because the bank no longer knows saan ba nanggaling yung pera mo. Okay? I know you're a teacher, I know you're an employee, you have income, pero yung crypto gains mo, hindi ko na alam saan galing yun eh, because you are on an unregistered VASP. Will it be different if it's a registered VASP? Yes, it will be different. Kasi makikita niya, okay, galing siya kay PDAX, galing siya kay coins.ph. So they don't go they're not as worried anymore, no, because it's another AMLC
I see.
registered institution.
I see. Ang follow-up ko kasi sana dito is parang ang isa sa mga nabasa namin comments is that kahit minention na nga ni BSP na you can deal with we can deal with registered exchanges, pero parang kino-close pa rin yung accounts nila kasi sobrang ayaw nung bangko sa crypto. So I guess
Right.
that's the follow-up, no? So bakit parang ayaw ng mga traditional banks sa cryptocurrency?
That's a great question. I think it just takes more time for the bigger banks to change their processes. Okay? Kasi you have to understand, some of these big banks, they have thousands of branches, they have tens of thousands of employees, and yung mga rules nila, it's very hard to change rules in such a big organization. And the bigger banks, it's very difficult for them to just, okay, pwede na pala crypto. Let's create a new framework. I-train natin ulit yung mga RMs natin on how to assess the risk of a crypto trading client. So you'll find na a lot of the bigger banks medyo mabagal, right? Plus, it's also true na crypto is a new asset, no? It's a very new industry. And some of the banks are understandably concerned na parang, okay, if nagka-problems related to this crypto business na hindi ko naiintindihan, wag na lang. Because I'm a big bank eh. I have big clients, I have big companies that depend on me. I'm not gonna take that risk. Okay? So sometimes the bigger banks are a lot more conservative pa than the smaller ones.
I see. So siguro i-clarify na lang din natin. So you mentioned yung sa bigger banks. So the reason why yung mga smaller banks, I mean, Union Bank is a universal bank, but they are still medyo maano yung sa levels niya, di ba, with BDO and ano. So the reason why smaller banks are at least amenable to crypto is because,
well, I'm not saying all of them, no?
of course,
I'm just saying na smaller banks tend to have a higher risk appetite, no? Na parang if, for example, Bank A, which is very, very big, kunwari, they don't really care about small accounts being closed down eh. They're worried na one day yung account na yon pinasukan ng heist na proceeds and then masama sila sa scandal. They're worried about that. Okay? But the smaller banks who want to compete, no, they're probably more likely to take risks. See, Union Bank is special because Union Bank for, I guess, 7 years or maybe more now, no? They've really been very focused on technology. And full disclosure, see, Union Bank is one of our shareholders. I just want to say that, but it's it's fully disclosed. They've always been very progressive with tech.
I see. So ito dako naman tayo sa part nung sa you mentioned mga source of income, ganyan. So medyo hindi na, well, AML pa rin siya in a way. Kasi na parang medyo travel season, ganyan. And minsan pag gusto mo mag-register sa isang lugar or gusto mo mag-travel, ganyan, pag nilagay mong source of income, crypto, parang ayaw nila tanggapin. Na
Pag nag-apply ka ng visa.
Yeah, mag-apply ka ng visa. Bakit kaya gano'n? Ba't ayaw nila tanggapin yung ano?
Well, kasi, wala akong first-hand experience with embassies, no? Pero syempre you have to consider na yung mga employees sa
I
embassy,
see.
they probably have rules that they follow, no? Okay, pagka nagpakita siya ng time deposit certificate, kailangan ganito yung format, kailangan natatawagan yung bangko to verify that, and if legit yung dokumento na yan, check. Right? They probably don't have the ability or they don't have the procedures to deal with crypto assets. So because they rather not take the risk, na decline siya, right? Which is sad, but I also think na over time that's gonna change then.
Pag may webinar yung PDAX sa mga embassy.
Oh, we can do that, diba? Or
Okay.
yeah, or actually you can also extract statements
Mhm.
from exchanges. It's really just a question of whether tatanggapin sila ng embassy. But for now, I think it's safe to say na it will take time before that happens.
Okay. Now, thanks Nichel for those clarifications
Sure.
na really been helpful to our audience. And once again, you are watching the Big Pinas webcast talking about AML and crypto together with the CEO of PDAX, Mr. Nichel Gaba. Now, I want to unahin na natin ito. So, we want to talk about PDAX and AML.
Mhm.
So, how does PDAX actually handle their AML
Mhm.
their AML systems?
Right. So I think ever since ni-regulate ni BSP ang virtual asset exchanges or VASPs, no, virtual asset service providers, um, our AML framework is no different from a bank.
Okay.
Okay? And a lot of people might find that surprising kasi wala naman silang pinipirmahang papel, they don't have to go to a branch. But actually, yung AML framework namin is in fact the same as the banks. Except that for us, because we're more native to crypto and we have tools that try to detect suspicious transactions sa blockchain, mas may appetite kami to assess yung source of funds, no?
I see.
And mas may ability kami to, because we rely on technology, mas may ability kami to perform automated screenings, etc. So are we doing anything different? I guess short answer is yes, right? We're using technology to do something that I guess traditional banks have yet to adopt.
I see. Thank you, Nichelle, no? So, you mentioned na parang yung AML systems nyo is almost the same as banks. So, ano kaya yung usually nagtitrigger nito? So, for PDAX or
Mhm.
I guess for exchanges,
Right.
how do you classify, ano ba yung usually, I guess for our audience na rin, ano ba yung usually na magti-trigger? How do you know if a specific transaction is a money laundering activity?
Sure. So again, it's not a no. I guess if I were to describe it, it's not an exact science. Okay? There's a lot of subjectivity here. Probably the first uh, set of potential customers na we cannot service are the sanctioned persons.
Okay.
No? Sino ba yung mga sanctioned persons? Ito yung mga nasa UN watch list or US sanctions list, mga kagaya nila Bin Laden, if you're, terrorist, etc. There are also no-go countries. Okay, so countries like North Korea, we can't accept you if you're North Korean. Okay, we also cannot accept you if you're Iranian. So yung mga yon, ano na yan, cut na yan. Okay. What else? We also have uh, uh, criteria on the amount of transactions that users can perform depending on his or her source of wealth. So here, an extreme example could be, let's say, customer A says na, ano po ako, part-time construction worker, sumasahod po ako ng 2,000 pesos every week, etc. Pero kita mo yung transaction niya, may 3 Bitcoin siya, or like millions of pesos on the app. we have to do enhanced diligence. Other flags include if the potential customer is politically exposed, right?
Okay.
Congressman, anak ng congressman, asawa ng
Yes.
congressman. We also do enhanced uh, due diligence.
I see. So, for example, ito, merong sa systems nyo, ito si
Mm.
customer A, si customer Lance, for example is, nakita nyo na, meron tong mukhang potential,
Right.
there is a potential money laundering activity.
Mhm.
Ano yung usual process to communicate and ano yung madalas ba na hinihingi sa
Mhm.
kanila to show na what they are doing is legitimate, kanyan?
Right. So, if yung suspicion is triggered by an activity, let's say a very large cash deposit or crypto deposit, then we call him up, right?
Okay.
We reach out via email asking si ano, for example si Lance, no, to explain saan ba nanggaling yan. If we're not kumbaga satisfied with the explanation, no, we're obliged to either freeze the account or turn the client away. How do you satisfy those questions? Well, if you're saying na tumama ka sa loto, can you show us documents to prove it? If you're saying na minana mo yan from, a deceased relative, can you show us again, no, documents to prove that? If you're saying na actually matagal ko na tong savings since bata pa ako, etc., can you show us bank statements that show that also? If you're saying naman na business income ko lahat yan, can you show us yung tax return ng negosyo mo, to give us comfort, no, na dyan nga talaga nanggaling. Is it intrusive? I would say so. I would say a lot of us probably would rather not have to answer these questions, no? But then again, as a financial institution, it's not just our job to take your money and look away, right? As financial institutions, it's now our job to, yes, provide you the service, but also make sure na yung pinanggalingan ng funds mo is not criminal activity.
When you were saying that, kasi parang hindi ko alam kung if this is obviously hindi pa to nangyari sa akin, no? But
Yeah.
parang mostly parang medyo strict ba siya or what? My follow up kasi diyan is parang how do you balance yung parang strictness nito with
Mhm.
with usability and accessibility? Alam naman natin na
Right.
there are lots of exchanges, no,
Uh-huh.
around the world that we can use. And when does it become, too strict that it can discourage people na, ba't pa mag-open dito? Ang daming kailangan gawin dito na lang sa
Right.
kabila. So,
I
what
think
your thoughts
yung
on that?
that's a good point. No? Parang, and I've been in crypto for many years, and for most of that time, I've been trying to build PDAX. So you can just imagine, a lot of people ask me, ba't ako mag-PDAX? Nag-ano na ako. I think one reason why uh, you should always also have a relationship with a regulated exchange is because money laundering rules will require that you go through a regulated exchange. Okay, so I think what I failed to mention kanina is if you are transacting in an unregulated uh, exchange or marketplace, the chances are very high that your bank will either want to do enhanced KYC or will close your account. It might not happen now, but if you transact often enough, the banks will find that out and they'll close your account. Okay. If you transact with a registered exchange, the chances of that happening is much, much, much smaller, right? Because it's in the regulated space. So uh, the trade-off there is uh, okay lang ba sa akin to deal with a little bit of hassle, but at least I have security, right? Na yung bank account ko is not gonna be shut down. And some people would find na yeah, that's okay. Like parang sige, I'll submit some documents. And I also wanna point out maybe this is a little ano na, no, a little tangential, no, but we actually love regulated services. Okay, um, you will never ride a plane na hindi accredited. You will never get treated at a hospital na hindi accredited sa DOH, right? You're also not gonna take medicine na hindi approved ng BFAD or DFA. It's the same thing with crypto, right? Maybe not now, but some years from now, we will all start to think, hey, dapat sa regulated exchange ako nagta-transact. But there are trade-offs.
So parang you're mentioning ito on exchanges, regulated and regulated, parang people can have a choice.
Right.
And ito yung trade-offs, whether when you do
May
this,
pros and cons.
may pros and cons siya talaga.
May pros and cons.
Okay. Thank you, Nichel.
Yeah.
And thank you again to our listeners. Hope you are enjoying and find this conversation about AML and crypto interesting. We are now on our second trivia portion. Lance?
Ayan, nakinig na naman ba kayo dito sa ating interview with Mr. Nichel Gaba from PDAX, no? The CEO of PDAX. Are you excited to win, once again, 1,000 peso worth of cryptocurrency and a legendary digital collectible? Ayan. So, like our Facebook fan page at Bitpinas and share our live stream on your Facebook profile publicly. Ayan. So we will be giving away once again 1,000 pesos worth of crypto and legendaries digital collectible. Okay, so magtatanong kami dito in our trivia question. So what you will do is to type the letter of the correct answer in the comment section of our live stream. Ayan. So get your keyboards ready, get your fingers ready para makasagot ng ating trivia question. Okay. So, our question for today is, what does AMLA stand for? Ayan. So, once again, what does AMLA stand for? Letter A, Anti-Money Laundering Authority. Letter B, Anti-Money Laundering Act. Letter C, Anti-Money Laundry Act. And letter D, Anti-Money Laundering Association. Ayan. Ha? Merong mabilis na sumagot. Okay? So, the correct answer is letter B, Anti-Money Laundering Act. Ang maswerteng nakasagot ng ating trivia question is Leo Anot. Congratulations. Ayan. Oh, meron pa tayong chance to win, once again, 1,000 peso worth of cryptocurrency and a legendary digital collectible. So just type in the correct answer, the letter of the correct answer in our comment section in this live stream. Don't forget to like our Facebook fan page of Bitpinas and share our live stream publicly on your profile. Now, are you ready once again in our question? Okay. So the question is, how many tokens are listed on PDAX? So once again, how many tokens are listed on PDAX? Letter A, 6. Letter B, 10. Letter C, 19. Or letter D, 42. Once again, how many tokens are there or are listed on PDAX? Letter A, 6. Letter B, 10. Letter C, 19. Or letter D, 42. So once again, type in the correct answer, the letter of the correct answer in our comment section. Don't forget to like our Facebook fan page at Bitpinas and share our live stream on your profile publicly. Ayan. So the correct answer is letter D, 42. Ayan, napakaswerte ng ating mga mananalo dito, no? Once again, you will be receiving 1,000 pesos worth of crypto and a legendary digital collectible. So the winner is Aljan de los Santos. Ayan, congratulations Aljan and Leo. So for the winners, you will be contacted on your Facebook profile for further instructions. Okay? So once again, no, thank you so much for listening in our live stream. Just continue, no, marami pang sasabihin si Mr. Nichel sa atin, no, regarding uh, anti-money laundering and of course PDAX. So once again, back to you, Michael.
Ayan, thank you so much, Lance, and congratulations sa ating mga winners. You are still watching the Bitpinas webcast. We are discussing crypto and AML together with the CEO of PDAX, Nichel Gaba. Now we are at the part of our webcast na we are going to get questions from our listeners, from our audience sa Facebook, and it will be mentioned to us by Lance. And ito na nga, wait kung may mga questions kayo, now is the time, and we don't have all day, no? Pero we can have Nichel answer all those questions, so directly from the CEO of a licensed crypto exchange. So I guess unahin ko na to muna, Nichel, no, before. So we are talking about AML, we are talking about sa yung mga suspicious accounts, yung mga ang tawag doon bang trenches, kumbaga. So ang tanong ko naman is, this is also things that the audience also ask us, no? So parang na itanong sa'yo. So, kung meron ka ba mga tips, or tama bang sabihing tips ito, or na para makaiwas, or not iwas, or comply? So, for example, sasabihin, parang, maganda ba na mag-withdraw na lang ako sa different bank accounts para iwas suspicion? Kumbaga, parang meron akong 1 million, for example, lalagay ko dito sa magkakaibang bangko. Okay ba yun? Parang, what do you think of that particular activity?
So actually, you have every, I mean, we're customers, diba? We have every right to transact with our banks the way we want, no? Is it easier to avoid suspicion if well, first of all, no, there's nothing wrong kasi with crypto trading, eh. So I'll object to the word suspicion right away. I think if you transact, if you have unusual transactions with many banks, no? Unusual not being illegal, it's just that hindi ito yung common na activity mo. You will just raise risk flags in all of those banks. Not to say they'll close you, no, but they have to investigate, or they have to be satisfied na hindi siya proceeds ng crime. Okay, so but I will say na parang ito yung pinaka-common na problem kasi a lot of us do not have updated KYC with their banks. Okay? Ako, I got my first bank account in 2008. Okay? That's so long ago. And it's possible na since that time, okay, or since the time na you opened your bank account, you never went to your bank to say, by the way, yung annual income ko, hindi na siya 15,000 na. Annual income ko, 150K na. Okay? So that's my first advice, no? You try to update your KYC with the bank. Ikaw na mag-initiate. Okay? Some banks do not welcome that naman, diba? Okay? So paano yun? Well, you can open another bank account. Okay? You can open a new bank account where the new bank will have a more updated parang income and wealth information of you. Okay? Should you hide, quote unquote, the fact na you trade in crypto? I don't think so, right? Kasi that's part of your wealth, right? There really is nothing wrong with owning crypto. Okay? Banks should not be able to deny you service just because you're in crypto. So that's my first tip, no? Try to get your KYC up to date. Or if not, second is open a new bank account with a more updated level of wealth. Yung third na I will suggest is if you have very large transactions that go into fiat, okay, not crypto to crypto necessarily, but like crypto to peso, ganyan. It's best to do it with a licensed exchange. Again, it sounds so biased but this is also the reason why I started PDAX, because I knew that this need would be important. Because with licensed exchanges, banks have more comfort na, okay, if yung payment galing dito sa exchange or papunta dito sa exchange, AMLC registered institution yan eh. So, sila na yung hahabulin ng AMLC, quote-unquote, if may issue. And then last, or maybe third, there's so many things you can do, no? But this is a third tip, no? If you think na hindi naging patas yung bangko in just closing your account right away, even though nag-provide ka ng information, you complain to the BSP. Don't complain to the bank. Sinaran na nila yung account mo eh. You complain to the BSP. So, every bank needs to have the BSP's hotline or email on their website, no, which is consumeraffairs@bsp.gov.ph. Why? Kasi if nagreklamo ka doon, hindi yan mapupunta sa branch or hindi yan mapupunta sa division manager. It goes straight to the senior management of the bank.
I see.
And the BSP will expect the senior management of the bank to respond to those complaints. Oh, may nagreklamo dito. Hindi raw fair yung pagsara ng bank account. Can you explain that, Mr. Bank? And I'm not saying na they will reopen your account, no? But they have to respond to it.
They have to explain. Ganyan.
Yes, exactly. They have to explain. So, if nasaran ka ng bank, that's one thing you can bank account. That's one thing you can also do.
I see. And then, pwede rin naman na if alam mong may darating kang, let's say, 500,000 or 1 million, you can call.
Mo na yun. No, by the way, nagbenta ako ng artwork or whatever. Okay? Hindi ito yung regular income ko, pero dito siya sa bank account papasok. Okay? Para you avoid na the risk flags, no, or the suspicious alerts.
Thank you, Nichel. And we have questions, I believe, from our audience.
Ayan. So, napaka-excited, no? Para magtanong, no? Kay Mr. Nichel Gaba ng CEO ng PDAX, no? About our topic for today. Sige. So, let's start, no? May mga tanong na tayo from our live audience. So, from John Villagonzalo. Will there be a staking in PDAX?
Staking is in my opinion, a very important feature. No, I think I can share naman na this is something na we've explored in the past and we continue to explore. I think it was very unfortunate na last year we had so many scandals involving companies that offer yield and companies that also offer staking services. Na it's, I think, a little bit hard to get siguro our regulatory framework comfortable with offering staking, but it's something na for sure we want to offer, and hopefully we get to offer one day.
Okay. So we have
walang promises. Yeah.
Okay, so we have another one from Sif Crocs. We have good crypto projects like with native tokens like Only, SparkLearn, EdTech, SparkPoint. So when are you going to list Filipino crypto projects on your platform?
So actually, we've had a listing framework for projects for a while now, no, and there are applications to list. Again, I hate to sound like silang plaka na kasi we're trying to make sure na everything is safe. But there is a review process, and if you have a project na you really are passionate about, and that you want us to consider for listing, please reach out to us about it. There's a review process. It might take some time, but really good initiatives, especially Filipino initiatives, we'll definitely look to support on the platform.
Okay na magtanong din. Okay, kasi may tanong din ako, no? What will, di ba, naririnig natin na yung mga bangko pwede magsara ng account. So what will happen dun sa funds, dun sa na-close sa bank account na yan? Saan mapupunta?
So, I'll talk about my personal experience with one bank because ako rin nasala na ako ng bank account. Okay? Ano pa yan, 19 ko po, hindi, nung mga 2017. They'll write you a letter to say na, okay, in 2 weeks, we have to close your account. Most of them don't explain why. So yung sa akin, hindi na-explain exactly why. Meron silang manager's check na iniwan sa branch for me to pick up. Okay? So that's one. I'm sure the audience naka-experience na ng ganyan.
Sorry, I couldn't find that in your home.
Ano yun? May Google Home pa
Kailangan
rin.
magtanong pa tayo, no? So we have another one from Raymond de la Cruz. So, question, no? Does PDAX have a backup stable coins if ever something happens like liquidated or bankruptcy?
Actually, I'm not sure ano yung okay. But I think I understand the question on liquidation and bankruptcy. So most regulated exchanges are required to keep customer funds completely separate from the funds of the company. Okay?
Mm-mm.
So that's why nung natumba si FTX, a lot of people were shocked. Bakit hindi wala yung customer funds from the funds of the company? Pero actually, if you run a proper financial institution, you will already know that they need to be segregated. And in fact, you don't need to trust the exchange to segregate it. If it's regulated, the BSP will visit you. Kami, kakatapos lang ng BXP examination namin. They visit you regularly to make sure that in fact they are segregated. Now, the reason why segregation is important is because if natumba yung company, it will be very clear na, okay, itong mga wallets na to, sa customers yan. Hindi yan kasama sa pagbabayad ng utang ng company or ng liquidation costs, etc. Hiwalay yan dyan. Customer funds will go to the customers.
Okay. So we have another one from Cindy Marie Martinez. Why po kasi nawala yung limit order sa PDAX? Kaya lumipat ako. Kailan po ibabalik?
Ako, Cindy, I'm so sorry to hear that. Actually, I'll as a good time to start moving our pretty old na systems to a completely new one. No? I think you'll also see a lot of other exchanges do the same thing. No, the reason why we want to get out of our older systems is because it's very difficult for us to keep a seamless experience. Nung time na we had to keep, nung time na we had to support really really fast growth. Um, that's when we started to just being very reactive sa mga new features, etc. And now na we're more in our own platform na talagang mas seamless na, we actually expect to add back a lot of the features na we went away with. So to Cindy, just be patient with us. Those advanced order types are gonna come back, and we will definitely let you know as soon as they're back.
So once again, Sylvia, please be patient for more features of PDAX. Ayan. So alam ko, maraming mga tanong kayo guys regarding our topic. But of course, let's come back again to the interview with Michael Mislos.
Ayan, thank you so much, Lance, and thank you to our listeners who type in their questions to the CEO of PDAX, Nichel Gaba. And Nichel, follow-up ko lang. So yung inspection ng BSP, announce ba to? Parang sinasabi sa inyo forward o bigla na sila pupunta? Surprise visit, ganyan.
Oh, so actually, it's it's announced, but it's not announced 1 year in advance. No, I think on average maybe a month in advance. Hindi rin naman nila secret yon because you can look at the BSP website, makikita yung manual nila, and they do say there na if may lisensya ka sa BSP, they will actually conduct a full examination on you. On average once a year yan. Yeah.
I see. Thank you so much, Nichelle. No? So, I guess nakikinig ko no, sa mga audience natin, madami ng questions regarding PDAX. And siguro ito na yung time natin to discuss yung naganap na update, I believe, sa PDAX this past month or past few months, if you can clarify, yung tinatawag na system switch. Diba, Nichelle? So, can you give us an overview of this system switch and anong magagawa niya for PDAX?
Sure. So, siguro to describe it a bit better, during the bull markets, when there were a lot of new tokens that needed to be listed or a lot of new networks to be supported, it's unavoidable for us to build things very reactively, to the point na parang in some cases hindi na siya very seamless. Okay, so in the tech startup world, we call this tech debt, stuff na okay, ayusin natin yan later para mas elegant, and then now we took the time to really do that. I'm happy to say na we successfully completed it, and what we need to do now na lang is really add back a lot of those features. So what can you expect now from PDAX now that we've completely migrated their systems over? Yung first is we won't have the periodic maintenance periods anymore. No, okay. I think a lot of people might have experienced that. Na parang we kept having to take the system down for maintenance and ensure that we can keep on scaling, especially when market activity is high. Now we won't have that anymore. The other thing is yung pag-transfer mo from one service to another within the PDAX app is now more seamless. Okay, because all of these services, okay, or these features are now centralized in one platform. So you should expect to feel na when you start using the app, okay, mas smooth na yung experience, and it's gonna be a lot more stable. So now that natapos na yung pag-migrate namin to this new system, we also expect to start introducing new features gradually. So yeah, I'm happy to say na you can expect more new products to come out also.
I see, new products, no? Yung sa pag-i-implement yun ng system switch, so medyo, I think it took you like 1 month or 2 months kasi di ba parang legacy systems din yung pinalitan dito?
Right. So you're right. No? So it took about a couple of months. But we tried kasi we tried to be as non-disruptive as possible. No? So nagsischedule kami in advance na I think 8-hour windows where we would perform the maintenance. So it took us 3 phases to fully migrate out. So you're right, it took us mga.
Thank you, Nichel, no?
Yeah.
And I wanted to kasi mention mo these are the things that we can expect from PDAX in the next few months, ganyan. I want to also know na since you've been in exchange since like 2018, and how will PDAX, like medyo cliche question, how will it evolve in the next few years? Kasi,
Mhm.
di ba, if I remember this very vividly with your co-founders before, na parang there was this vision of PDAX kasi Philippine Digital Asset
Mhm.
Exchange. So, parang may vision siya to have commodities, ganyan. Ito
Mhm.
ba yung, I mean, is this still the vision of PDAX in the future?
Absolutely. Look, I think uh, particularly with tech startups, no, they say they're doing X, and then all of a sudden they need to react kasi they need to do Y. I think that's very common sa crypto space. You've been here. Bitpinas is probably the oldest crypto institution sa Philippines that's still active today. You know na in 2017 we were talking about ICOs,
Yes.
diba? Uh, in 2018 it was probably the first true bear market. We started talking about STOs, security tokens, and then we started talking about NFTs, and then naging play to earn, and then now there's AI enabled smart contract, blah blah blah. Okay, so the market kasi the industry is so fast. Okay, but to answer your original question, hindi naman nagbago yung vision ng PDAX. I mean, I grew up here with very limited access to uh, opportunities to grow my wealth, right? I feel this pain very deeply because I didn't come from super privileged na ano. I mean, I had to also work my way and support my family and try to grow my wealth. I didn't have access to uh, tech stocks in the US. I didn't have access to a lot of uh, wealth creation opportunities, and that's something that we really want to change. Now, I'm not saying na ano no baka isipin ng tao, oh, magkakaroon ng US stocks sa PDAX. I'm not saying that, no. It's just that I think na the journey to get there requires changing the quote unquote plumbing, no? And that's what we're trying to do here. So I think one thing you can expect, which we hope to announce soon, is actually a direct outcome of that effort. No, now we can offer an investment product to the retail market that was never accessible before, but we can do it now because of blockchain technology. So I can't speak too much about it, but that's still what we want to achieve here.
Thank you, Nichelle, no? And
Mm-mm.
to our listeners, so narinig nyo naman, may bagong investment product sa PDAX that they are going to announce soon. So again, thank you so much sa mga nanonood pa rin hanggang ngayon. Now we move on, or we move again to the questions from our audience. We go with Lance on these questions.
Alright. So, meron tayong mga tanong from the audience, Michael. Ayan. So, we have one from Cave or Cafe D. Okay. In case of automatic flagging of transactions, does PDAX and or other CEXs in the Philippines are required to automatically or they will try to manage by CEX itself first?
Um, Sorry, I could you repeat the question?
Oo nga eh. Siguro, Keith, if you can paraphrase.
Yung mga automatic flagging ba ng
Mhm.
transactions will be done by the exchanges automatically, or may manual pa ba itong nagaganap?
I think most centralized exchanges, which I think is what was being referred to here, no. I think a lot of us do have automatic no flagging, no, mga risk indicators. Uh, I think in most institutions, they don't give you a list and oy, by the way, ito yung ano namin na, ito yung risks na we find, ito yung mga flags, ito yung mga indicators na we find suspicious kasi people who just work around it. But there are certain risk triggers no now automatically alerts us when we need to look deeper into a certain activity. Pero may manual pa rin because you can't just freeze an account because may risk flag na lumabas. We still need analysts to try and understand ano ba yung tinatry gawin nung client, right? And so may manual handling pa rin for sure.
We have another one from Ekniv ba to? Ekniv Tenoria. Okay? So good evening. Good evening. Direct question po, for example, mag-withdraw ako ng total of 7 digits using of PDAX with different financial institution per month. Let's say 1M plus. Maho-hold or maki-question ba ang funds ko or not? Thanks.
Okay. If I understand yung question correctly, it's if you ang question ni Vince, no? Vince binaliktad, Vince Tenoria, okay. Is that if naglabas siya ng tigwa 1M from 7 banks para ipasok sa PDAX, tama ba?
Mag-withdraw ako ng a total of 7 digits using PDAX, then
Using PDAX.
financial institution.
So, ipapasok sa bangko.
So from PDAX to banks, ganun.
Okay. I-withdraw from PDAX to the banks. Okay. Yung process na yon, it depends on yung bank na pagpapasukan mo ng funds. Okay? So, let's say one of the banks na pagpapasukan mo knew you to be somebody na nagtatransact lang ng 5K every month, pasok-labas, it will raise some questions. When they look deeper into your account, okay, it's much easier for them to be comfortable with it if they see na it's coming from another licensed institution like PDAX. In which case, they might ask you, Miss or Mr. Tenoria, saan po galing yung funds? Okay, meron akong transaction with PDAX. End of story. Okay? Other banks might not see it that way, right? Other banks might say, since 5,000 lang yung negosyo nitong kliyente na to sa amin, we don't want to ask any more questions, ma'am, sara na lang. Or sir pala. Okay. So, iba-iba yung treatment ng mga banks pagdating dito.
Okay, so case-by-case basis. Okay, so yun lang ang mga tanong for today. Ayan. So, back to you, Mike.
So, thank you so much, Lance, no? And thank you again sa mga nagtatanong sa ating webcast. So, I guess merong mga nag-message dito and I can see them sa comments, no? Ito I'm sure medyo mainit or what, pero ito yung tanong niya to you, Nichel. Do banks close down accounts if the user deals with an unlicensed crypto exchange?
A lot of this depends on yung risk appetite ng bangko. Okay? Banks generally follow guidelines from the BSP and the AMLC. There was a memo before from the BSP that instructed BSP supervised institutions to not deal with unlicensed exchanges. Okay, so I will not be surprised if a lot of banks take that as their cue na they should start closing down bank accounts of people who transact with unlicensed exchanges. Okay, will there be others that don't do it? Probably, right? Because hindi naman perfect ang execution ng banks. Sometimes they undertake an initiative. It takes them a while to complete it. But I think based on siguro the stories na rin we hear from the crypto community, I think banks are becoming a lot more serious about uh, about activity on unlicensed exchanges. Maybe a lot more so no than dati, di ba?
Thank you so much. And I guess this one question naman, ang tanong niya is, will there be a native coin? Will there be a PDAX coin? Basically, magkakaroon ba ng PDAX coin?
Uh, Never say never, no? I think yung kagandahan of having a native token um, is in the case of a lot of other exchanges who have their native tokens is they can create their own ecosystem, no, for their users. While I cannot say now we will definitely have a token, or I cannot say now we won't, what I will say is that if eventually we do come out with a token, it won't be for kicks lang, no? It will actually be something na will be useful in an ecosystem na we want to create. But to be very transparent, we are not there yet today.
I see. Thank you. And i-follow up ko lang na doon sa
Mhm.
mention nga, PDAX token. So para ba tong sa staking na parang it will be in the purview na tinatawag with the SEC, yung mga ganyang klase ng activity.
So to put more color, I'm sure you've reported on yung digital asset exchange rules, or yung digital asset offering rules that I think si Commissioner Kelvin has talked about also. Basically, yung SEC will have rules, no, in the issuance of new digital assets. Hindi pa siya finalized, so it's very it's difficult then to make plans now on a tokenization project without clearer guidelines from our regulators, which who also consult the industry. I mean, they're not doing this behind closed doors. They actually engage the industry also when they come out with these rules.
I see. Thank you so much, Nichel. And thank you again to our listeners. Now we are down to our final trivia portion. Back to you, Lance, on the trivia.
Ayan, nag-enjoy ba kayo sa ating interview with Mr. Nichel Gaba, the CEO of PDAX? Nako, mamimigay kami ng 1,000 peso worth of cryptocurrency and a legendary digital collectible just for you. Kaya ano bang gagawin natin? Like our Facebook fan page at Bitpinas and share our live stream on your Facebook profile publicly. Yan, para manalo na kayo, no? We will be asking some trivia questions. So what you will do is to type the letter of the correct answer in the comment section of our live stream. Ayan, are you ready for our fifth trivia question? Okay? Ready na ba kayo? Okay. So here's our question. Can you cash in with PDAX after signing up with no KYC? Okay? So, can you cash in with PDAX after signing up with no KYC? Letter A, yes. Or letter B, no. Okay? So, once again, type in the letter of the correct answer in the comment section of our live stream. Don't forget to like our Facebook fan page at Pitpinas and share our live stream on your Facebook profile publicly. Okay? So the correct answer is yes, of course. Pwede. Yes, you can. So PDAX has a basic tier where users can cash in up to 2,000 pesos daily and 50,000 peso annually, and trade crypto. So yung requirements natin for basic tier are minimal, But take note that cash outs and crypto outs are disabled. Okay? So yun. So you can cash in with PDAX with no KYC. Okay? So, the one na nakasagot ng ating trivia question is Marlon Saluntao. So, congratulations, Marlon Saluntao, for answering our trivia question correctly. Ayan. Nako, sa mga hindi pa nakakasagot, no, we have our final question. Okay? So, pwede pang humabol, guys. Okay? Pwede pang humabol. And we have some good news, no? So, the winner of this last trivia question will receive not only 1,000 peso worth of cryptocurrency, but of course, a special digital collectible called Tambay. Ayun. So, meron pa kayong special digital collectible, ha, from PDAX. Kaya ready, ha. Ready na kayong sagutin ang ating katanungan for tonight. Are you ready? Ready na ba kayo? Ready? Okay, so this is our last question for our trivia this evening. Okay? So, what is the name of the NFT marketplace PDAX recently partnered with? So once again, what is the name of the NFT marketplace PDAX recently partnered with? Letter A, Ubelan. Letter B, Poke. Letter C, Minto. Or letter D, New Horizons. Okay? So once again, type in the letter of the correct answer in the comment section of our live stream. Don't forget to like our Facebook fan page, Bitpinas, and share our live stream on your Facebook profile publicly. Okay? Alright, so we have a winner. No? So the correct answer is... The correct answer is Minto. Yan. So that is the name of the NFT marketplace ng PDAX. And our winner is Danilo Rante Cortaga. Congratulations, ha? Congratulations to our 6 winners. So you will be receiving 1,000 peso worth of crypto and a legendary digital collectible. Okay, so please wait for, we will be reaching you out for further instructions. Okay, so congratulations, ha? And back to you, Mike.
Ayan, thank you so much, Lance, and congratulations sa lahat ng ating winners dito sa Bitpinas Webcast. Once again, we are with the CEO of PDAX, Nichel Gaba. We are talking about AML, PDAX, and crypto. I guess one-on-one na rin on this particular webcast. No? Maraming salamat, and I hope you find this very interesting. So now, Nichel, mga quick questions lang. No? I have 3 here. So, Gcrypto, I know na kayo yung involved kayo sa pagkakaroon ng Gcrypto. How did that happen?
So I think it's very clear na Gcash is the leading e-wallet. No, I think a lot of people have Gcash. A lot of people use Gcash, and it's always been in our mission to make sure na crypto is as available to as many Filipinos as possible. So it really just made sense for us to work with them to offer crypto. And I think on the side of Gcash, din naman, no, because crypto is a very fast-moving industry, and yung technology requirements for crypto is not straightforward, di ba? The platforms are much more complex. It made sense also for them to enter into the partnership, and I think so far it's been great. We're very thankful to Gcash because I think they know their market very well. So I think we took that cue from them, that the experience needs to be very easy to use, very stable. And yeah, so you can at least now, no, everyone can have access to crypto through their Gcash wallets.
Thank you, Nichel. And kapag may problem yung user sa Gcrypto, saan sila pupunta? Kay Gcash ba or kay PDAX or both pwede?
I think it depends on the problem.
I see.
But yung first touch for the customer is through the the GCash customer support. But yung customer support channel naman on Gcrypto is something na we monitor closely with them. So if the concern has to do with the PDAX side of Gcrypto, then we will be the ones addressing it. But it's all gonna be ano naman. Hindi na niya kailangang yung customer hindi na kailangan mag-file ng ticket in either place, no? It's just through Gcrypto.
Okay, thank you, Nichel. And second question, I guess tanong na rin natin, no? Infra Watch. So, sabi ng mga tao, I mean, if you've seen the report from Bitpinas and others, so si Infra Watch wanted to suspend and ban mga exchanges, parang unregulated exchange, not licensed exchanges. So, nasabi ng mga tao parang baka wala to ng PDAX, ng coins, ganyan. So, anong response natin dito, Nichel?
Well, for sure, hindi namin siya pakawala, no? Because I understand what InfoWatch is saying, and actually, ano rin I mean, it takes some ano rin it takes some courage also to be saying this, even though it's very unpopular. But if you ask me whether I believe in banning unlicensed exchanges, I can't say na I am, no, because a lot of the innovation that took place in crypto was brought forth by unregulated players. Ano ba nauna? Kotse or LTO? Right? Nauna yung kotse, right? So it always relied on these I guess innovative players, no, who can think outside of the rules and make it necessary for rules to be put in place later on. But I will say this: I think it's very difficult to operate a regulated exchange because we follow very strict rules. We cannot launch new features as fast as other players. We pay taxes operating in the Philippines. And what I think we want is a level playing field, right? If tatawagan ng foul, ng traveling, yung mga players like crypto, then dapat other players also, right? We don't want the referee to eject other players from the game. No? Kumbaga sa basketball, basta patas ang tawag, then game. Diba? Yeah.
Thank you on that, no? And next one is taxes, no? Nabanggit mo na rin yung taxes. So, paano ba yung taxes sa crypto sa pag-report sa kanya sa ITR and all? Meron ka bang masasuggest or tips on that particular?
So I obviously am not a tax advisor, no. I think even though it's a hot topic in other countries, no, I think we're still trying to understand exactly how best to tax crypto, even if it needs to be taxed, because there are instruments naman that are traded out there that are not taxed. Parang if you buy dollars and umakyat yung dollar and you sell it, kumita ka, that's not taxed, right? If you buy property, umakyat yung price, binenta mo, that is taxed. I think it will take a lot of study to figure out ano ba yung best way to address this for crypto. But I probably am not a tax advisor, so I can't help with that, no. But exchanges obviously are businesses that operate in the Philippines, so exchanges that are regulated actually do also have duties to the BIR.
I see. Thank you so much, Nichel. Thank you so much to our audience who are with us right now. And I guess, ano ko lang yung mga key takeaways ko din on this particular interview with you. Thank you again for this. You mentioned, so ang title natin is actually more on parang Iwas AMLA, no? But really, it's more about how do you comply, di ba? Ganun yung pagkakaintindi ko sa ating discussion ngayon. And then when it comes to exchanges, ganyan, so people have choice, you mentioned, but there are trade-offs on whatever you are going to choose, whether you go to this exchange or to another exchange. So circling back to you, Nichel, no, what is your what is your pitch on this? Why choose PDAX for our audience? Why should users choose a license exchange? So magkakasunod na, why choose PDAX versus others? Or why choose PDAX or a license exchange over others?
Mhm. I think you choose a licensed crypto exchange if you want safety, because you can rest assured na our processes are sound and safe, not because we say it's sound and safe, no, but because someone is visiting us every year, someone is asking for reports every month, and that's the BSP, to make sure now we are following processes correctly. Okay, so if you want a safe and stable experience, you go to a license exchange. If you want to make sure na your bank accounts are not at risk, you go to a licensed exchange. If you want to look for I guess the most advanced features and maybe the newest token to come out to market, probably other exchanges or even DEXs, right? Decentralized exchanges are the better platform. But if you want something safe, stable, and simple, you go to an exchange that's regulated. Now, why PDAX? Obviously, you also have options naman with other license exchanges. But I think what sets PDAX apart is our focus is in this market. We don't have we didn't come from anywhere else. We came from here, deeply rooted in the Pinoy experience. And everyone at PDAX is here because we also want to see development, no, in our country. So we're homegrown, and we will always design, develop, and service our products, or offer our products and services catered to Filipino needs.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nichelle, and thank you really for agreeing to this interview. We appreciate. I'm sure the audiences appreciate your candid responses to the questions, and naitanong ko po lahat ng aking talking points, and I know I have gained valuable insights in here, and hopefully our audience as well on on how PDAX works, how things about AML, about money laundering, and what can we do as crypto investors. No, so thank you so much. And last na to, Nichelle, do you have any like final words to our audience?
Well, siguro I just want to tell our audience na well, our audience, I think, is the Filipino crypto community. So maraming salamat that you're still in crypto, even though we went through pretty turbulent market conditions. And we also want to thank our customers who are listening. Obviously, the reason we are here is precisely the reason also that you are looking for the best exchanges out there, and that is we want to offer you the best trading and transacting experience. So to that end, no, I think our main message to everybody that's listening is is just reiterating that commitment. No, we're here for you, and you can be assured na everything that we're doing going forward will be to make sure that you have the best product experience at PDAX. And Michael, maraming salamat din to you and your team. As I mentioned kanina, Bitpinas has been here from the very beginning also, and we're happy na we're with you on this crypto journey.
Thank you, Nichelle, and thank you for the kind words as well. And again, I hope our audience find this, very interesting. My name is Michael Mislos, together with the Bitpinas team, Nate, Aya, Lance, and Jopet. Don't forget to follow Bitpinas and read stories and interviews about crypto here in the country, the most important ones. And remember to always do your research because really ignorance is very expensive. So read and research. And thank you and have a great night. And hanggang sa susunod, maraming salamat. Thank you.
Thank you.